Here are today's top stories. President Duterte strengthens the campaign against corruption and criminality.
Itong 3 years ko, pag hiningian ka, pumunta ka ng Malacanang. Sabihin mo sa akin doon, yang si anong oras, sabihin mo lang sa mga gwardiya, mga sundalo, may reklamo ako na korupsyon. Ako mismo ang biktima. Ba ako pakinggan kita, tawagin ko yung si Direktor. Sampalin ko yan sa harap ninyo. Usipain ko.
The Philippine National Police welcomes the filing of charges against policemen in the killing of 14 farmers during operations in Negros Oriental. Rappler CEO Ressa pleads not guilty to 4 tax-related cases against the online news site. And major sports venues are set to undergo renovation for the upcoming Southeast Asian Games.
Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. President Rodrigo Duterte has ordered a review of all government contracts made with private corporations and countries. This as Malacanang responded to criticisms over the loan agreements made with China. Miguel Hill has the story.
President Rodrigo Duterte has ordered the Office of the Solicitor General, the Department of Justice, and all legal departments to review all contracts entered into by government with private corporations and countries. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo says this review will determine whether there are onerous provisions that would put the Philippines in a disadvantage or would violate the Constitution. Panelo maintained that the 3.69 billion peso Chico River Pump Irrigation Project and the 4.2 billion peso Kaliwa Dam are above board. However, he assured that these controversial Chinese loan agreements will be covered by the review.
The President is warning all and sundry that for as long as he's the President, he will not allow anything that will go against the interests of the Filipino people. He will use the Constitution, all the powers given him, to protect the Filipino people and to serve them faithfully.
Panelo allayed fears that the review of all government contracts would have an impact on potential investors, saying that it will only forewarn them not to engage in onerous transactions. Duterte's call to review all government contracts with private firms stemmed after he learned that the government had to pay at least 3.4 billion pesos to water concessionaire Maynilad after losing an arbitration case in 2018.
Because he found out that during the Ramos administration, there was a contract between Maynilad, is that Maynilad or Manila Waters? Maynilad. And the Republic of the Philippines. And in that contract, the government, the Republic of the Philippines, was prohibited into intruding into the terms of the contract. And that's why we lost in the arbitration tribunal. And I think we were made to pay 3.5 billion something pesos. Because according to the ruling, the government intervened. And by reason of the intervention, Maynilad suffered damages.
For his part, Justice Secretary Menato Guevara says priorities for the review will include agreements on public utilities and foreign loan contracts and provisions that are perceived to be one-sided, disadvantageous to the government, and contrary to public order or public policy. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Miguel Hill.
President Rodrigo Duterte said he is in a hurry to correct the country's problems as he has only 3 years left before his term ends in 2022. He also says he will not stop in his fight against corruption. Here is our report.
In his speech at the PDP Laban campaign rally in Malabon, the president says he has only about 3 years to correct the things that he wanted to do. He says he needs the help of Congress to pursue reforms as he cannot implement his programs if he gets no support from lawmakers.
Walang law at peace and order At ang pangalawa, hindi ninyo mahinto ang korupsyon sa nasyonal, lokal, pati sa syudad. Baski bigyan mo ako ng 5 terms, walang eleksyon. Pag nandyan yan dalawa, sabihin ko sa inyo, sorry, inyo na lang yan. Hindi ninyo kaya magkaroon ng progress at development dito sa Pilipinas.
He also encouraged everyone to report any form of corruption in government.
Itong 3 years ko, pag hiningian ka, pumunta ka ng Malacanang. Sabihin mo sa akin doon, yang si anong oras, sabihin mo lang sa mga gwardiya, mga sundalo, may reklamo ako na korupsyon. Ako mismo ang biktima. Ako pakinggan kita, tawagin ko yung si Direktor. Sampalin ko yan sa harap ninyo. Usipain ko.
Under the Duterte administration, the prevalence of crimes from July 2016 to June 2018 has gone down by 21.48% compared to the same period in 2014 to 2016. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Bench Bondo.
The Philippine National Police, or PNP, welcomes the filing of charges by militant groups regarding the death of 14 farmers during the police operations in Negros Oriental. PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde says the proceedings will reveal which groups are supporting the New People's Army. About 50 militant groups earlier staged a rally in front of Camp Crame to denounce what they called a massacre. Albayalde stressed that the farmers died in legitimate police operations with the necessary warrants. He says those who were killed and arrested were among those proven to work with the NPA. He assured the victims that there will be no whitewash in the case, as shown through the relief of several top police officials in Negros Oriental. Rappler President and CEO Maria Ressa has entered a not guilty plea regarding the 4 cases of tax deficiency against her before the Court of Tax Appeals. The Department of Justice found probable cause to file charges against Ressa based on the complaint filed by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Rappler is accused of not paying over 70 million pesos worth of taxes since 2015 in connection with the sale of Philippine depository receipts to Omidyar Network Fund. The first day of the trial is on May 15, when the prosecution will present its witnesses and documentary evidence. The DOTR prepares for the exodus of passengers this Holy Week, and Thailand opens job opportunities for English teachers from the Philippines. More on these and other news around the metro from Janice Cape.
The Department of Transportation will be on heightened alert status in preparation for the great volume of passengers going to the provinces during the Holy Week break. The DOTR is set to implement its Oplan Biyaheng Ayos Semana Santa 2019 from April 8 to 25 to ensure a safe and convenient commuting experience for passengers across the country. The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board has issued special permits to buses that will travel to the provinces during the Holy Week. Passenger assistance desks that will be operating on a 24/7 basis will likewise be installed in major ports, terminals, and airports in the country. Meanwhile, the Department of Labor and Employment, or DOLE, announced that job opportunities for Filipino English teachers for Thailand will be available soon. The Philippines is set to have a memorandum of understanding with Thailand on the hiring of teachers. OFW-related queries and concerns may call the DOLE and OWA hotline 1348 to attend to OFW-related queries and concerns. In other news, free train rides will be offered to veterans from April 5 to 11. This is in observance of the Philippine Veterans Week and Araw ng Kagitingan. They are allowed to bring one companion and must present a valid Philippine Veterans Affairs Office identification card to avail of the free ride. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cabe.
Still to come, economists say rice tariffication will further strengthen and bolster the country's WTO membership. Household workers in Western Visayas are granted a 500 peso salary increase. More on this when the PNA Newsroom continues.
sa ginagawa ng presidente. March 19, Martes, Malacanang. Tinanggap ni Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte ang credentials ng mga bagong talagang ambasador mula sa Lao People's Democratic Republic, Kingdom of the Netherlands, Papua New Guinea, Singapore at Turkey. Kinausap niya si Moro National Liberation Front Chairman Nur Miswari. Pinulong din niya ang ilang opisyal ng Metropolitan Waterworks and Sewerage System o NWSS at pinag-usapan ang kasalukuyang krisis sa tubig sa ilang bahagi ng Metro Manila. March 21, Huwebes, libingan ng mga bayani. Pinangunahan ni Pangulong Duterte ang inaugurasyon ng Marawi Heroes Memorial Monument bilang pag-alala sa kabayanihan ng mga nagbuwis ng buhay para sa kalayaan ng Marawi. Fort Bonifacio, Taguig. Dumalo siya sa 122nd Philippine Army Founding Anniversary at pinasalamatan ang mga sundalo.
Your accomplishments in both internal security and civil military operations in many parts of the country are a testament to your unwavering commitment to defend our institutions and our democratic way of life.
Inanunsyo rin niya ang paghinto ng usapang pangkapayapaan sa pagitan ng gobyerno at mga komunista.
I am officially announcing the permanent termination of our talks between the government panel and the Communist Party of the Philippines.
Pasay City. Pinangunahan ng Pangulo ang 32nd Biennial Convention of the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry. March 22, Biyernes, Silang, Cavite. Panauhing pandangal si Pangulong Duterte sa 40th commencement exercises ng Philippine National Police Academy.
As you leave the halls of the Academy, bring with you the principles of integrity and loyalty, as well as the values of patriotism and compassion that your alma mater has instilled in you. These will serve as your guideposts as you perform your duty to our people and nation.
Ako po si Secretary Martin Andanar at ito ang Duterte on Duty. Abangan sa susunod na linggo ang mga gagawin ng Pangulo.
The implementation of rice tariffication would further bolster the Philippines' advantages and membership to the World Trade Organization. According to IHS Market Asia Pacific Chief Economist Rajiv Biswas, the Philippines needs to comply with WTO laws to benefit from global trade liberalization, which includes the removal of non-tariff barriers. The economist stressed that with almost every other country of the world being a WTO member, the Philippines is also likely to gain from trade liberalization. Meanwhile, another senior economist projects better domestic inflation dynamics because of rice tariffication. Economist Nicolas Antonio Mapa of ING Bank says the measure will go a long way to building the macroeconomic stability of the Philippines. This as rice farmers are expected to get help by the Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund. More than 200 businessmen explored Cebu's investment potentials through a cooperation seminar organized by the People's Provincial Government of Shandong, China. Governor Gong Zeng addressed prospective investors and Filipino-Chinese businessmen based in Cebu during the China-Philippines Cooperation Seminar. Gong says Shandong is an economic powerhouse that is undertaking strategic junctions of development and establishing cooperation among other countries. He says his group is determined to bring about 40 companies that will carry out matchmaking to promote cooperation between Shandong and Cebu. Meanwhile, Consul General Jia Li of the People's Republic of China praised Cebu's cultural, industrial, trade, and tourism positions. Both Gong and Jia Li underscored China's commitment to support President Duterte's Build, Build, Build program with Cebu as one of its beneficiaries. For his part, Presidential Assistant for the Visayas, Michael Lloyd Dino, says the administration is looking to complement the country's growth with infrastructure projects, citing Cebu's vital role in the national economy. Shakey's Pizza Asia Ventures Incorporated has announced the acquisition of emerging restaurant brand Peri Peri Charcoal Chicken. Under the asset purchase agreement signed Tuesday, Shakey's will purchase assets and intellectual property relating to the Peri business, including the recipes used by the chain to make its trademark Peri Peri chicken. The deal is expected to close by mid-year. Shakey's chairperson Christopher Poe says they expect Peri to be an important future growth driver for their fast casual chain restaurant business. Peri has 23 branches in various parts of Metro Manila, about 60% of which are franchised, while 40% are company-owned. A voluntary blood donation drive is being promoted among medical students in Ilocos Norte. As of yesterday, more than 80 bags of blood were collected and deposited at the blood bank, which was intended for accident victims, people needing surgery, and those suffering from certain diseases, as well as for medical research. The activity, dubbed as One Blood, One Life 2019, was conducted at the Mariano Marcos State University, or MMSU, in partnership with the Mariano Marcos Memorial Hospital and Medical Center in Batac City. It aims to establish their own blood bank for the residents of Batac. The activity was extended for the undergraduate students, faculty members, and the community residents of Batac City, and they are hoping to sustain this activity in the future. Central Luzon is bracing for the influx of travelers this summer and the Lenten season. Meanwhile, salaries of domestic workers are set to increase by 500 pesos. More on this and other stories from the provinces from Benj Bondok.
Over 5,000 police personnel have been deployed around Central Luzon for the anticipated influx of visitors and motorists during summer, especially during Lenten season. Police Regional Office 3 Director Joel Napoleon Coronel says police personnel were deployed in major thoroughfares to ensure the safety of motorists and commuters. This as the PNP kicked off its Oplan Ligtas Samvac 2019. The public are advised to remain vigilant against criminal elements. The Ligtas Samvac 2019 will remain in effect until June 13. Meanwhile, domestic workers or kasambahays in Western Visayas will soon receive an additional 500 pesos on their monthly wage. With the approved increase, all household workers in Western Visayas will be entitled to get a monthly wage of up to 4,500 pesos. In other news, Senator and Army Reserve Colonel Manny Pacquiao assumed command as Brigade Commander of the Army's 2,203rd Ready Reserve Infantry Brigade. Pacquiao has vowed to help improve further the capability of Army Reserve units in Central Mindanao. The senator now has jurisdiction over reserve forces in the provinces of Sarangani, South Cotabato, Sultan Kudarat, North Cotabato, and Maguindanao. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Benj Bondo.
Up next, a Filipino-Spanish magazine features the works of Spanish and Filipino artists. Major sports venues that will host events in the 30th SEA Games are set to undergo renovation. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
The Environment, Tourism and Interior Departments recommended to close Boracay for 6 months.
To address issues such as illegal structures and faulty drainage systems that is affecting Boracay's prized beach.
The last time na nandito is 2017. It's actually crowded. Sobrang dami ng tao. Everywhere, makikita mo talaga bars and drinks and masamahalat talaga.
We had more cases of skin disease. We had more cases of diarrhea.
So nagkasama-sama lahat ng mga agencies, tiningnan ano ba ang plano natin sa Boracay, compliance on Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, at saka yung ating environmental compliance.
When they started demolishing, we saw that there was action, that they put their money where their mouth is.
Lahat ng nagamit na tubig ng customer, we collect it through our sewer lines and then it goes through a treatment process sa treatment plant.
It was nice that it happened. Finally, Boracay got the attention it is in deep need of.
I think a lot of work was done during the closure. The water is clear, the oceans are clean, there seems to be a lot of wildlife returning. We had, for the first time in 10 years, we had turtles hatching on the beach a couple of days ago.
During the closure, you could see like the eagles came back and everything that we have had for a long time.
Pumasyal pa nga yung mga dito udanding, galing na Cebu.
In the end, it's a good thing, yes. It was hard for us, but it was also a wake-up call.
The beach was cleaned up and is officially set to reopen on October 26th.
Wala nang kumakain sa beach, bawal nang manigarilyo.
Gumanda yung isla namin as in bumalik sa dati na ambience.
We teach kids about pollution, solid waste management, because they're the ones who will sustain all the things that we're doing now.
The Spanish Embassy in Manila launched the 8th issue of the Filipino-Spanish cultural magazine, Pero Verde. Spanish Ambassador to the Philippines, Jorge Moraga, says this issue reflects all the cultural work they have been doing in the Philippines last year. Spanish Embassy First Secretary Pilar Cuadra Gascon says this issue tries to reflect on the artistic ties that link the Spanish and the Filipino cultural scenes. The magazine is said to promote and encourage Spanish and Filipino artists. Among the artists featured are Cristina Lucas, Fernando Sanchez Castillo, Nicolas Combaro, the Catalan artist Dominic Bellaco and Talahib People's Music, and Ateneo Art Awards winners Alec Madeline, Abaro, and Mary Jessel Duque. Readers can access the digital version of Pero Verde through its website, peroverde.com. The Rizal Memorial Sports Complex and 2 other major venues will start its renovations in time for the 30th Southeast Asian Games. The Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation set aside a total of 842 million pesos for the repairs of 11 other facilities, including the Ninoy Aquino Stadium, Phil Sports Arena, Baguio Training Center, among others. Philippine Sports Commission Chairman Butch Ramirez says they hope to finish renovations by September and that 10 to 12 government sports facilities are ready to assess and help in the preparations in the upcoming game. Other than game venue, part of PAGCOR's appropriation is the refurbishment of the athletes' dormitory, construction of a new medical building, 2 nutrition halls, and a ecumenical chapel. Ramirez says there are 1,452 national athletes under the PSC care at Rizal Memorial and PhilSports, with 578 of them under junior development. MVP LeBron James says he will not take part in this year's World Cup in China as he sees himself in the U.S. men's basketball team at the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games. During his off-season, LeBron James is said to begin making the movie Space Jam 2. He says how he feels after next season will determine his chances of participating in the Tokyo Olympics. This season marks the end of James's 8-year run of appearances at the NBA Finals. James averaged 27.4 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 8.3 assists this season, overtaking Michael Jordan to sit 4th on the all-time NBA scoring list. For some people, age and status will not stop them from getting an education. A fishball vendor received a scholarship when he went viral on social media after completing junior high school. Here is our report.
In Coronadal City, the success story of a fishbowl vendor, Jolito Angkoy, went viral on Facebook. The 42-year-old vendor completed junior high school with honors and Best in Agriculture award at the Coronadal National Comprehensive High School. Angkoy, who strove to complete junior high school, says he failed to continue his studies before due to poverty. But his dream to finish schooling remained even as he later started his own family and despite his age. TESDA acknowledged his inspiring story and surprised him during his graduation ceremony by handing over a certificate of scholarship to pursue a technical vocational course. TESDA Region 12 Director Rafael Abrogar says the youth should not stop dreaming and striving to make their lives better. Through Angkoy's story, TESDA is hoping that more out-of-school youths would be encouraged to continue their studies and even beyond. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories.
President Duterte strengthens the campaign against corruption and criminality.
Itong 3 years ko, pag hiningian ka, pumunta ka ng Malacanang. Sabihin mo sa akin doon, yang si anong oras, sabihin mo lang sa mga gwardiya, mga sundalo, may reklamo ako na korupsyon. Ako mismo ang biktima. Ba ako pakinggan kita, tawagin ko yung si Direktor. Sampalin ko yan sa harap ninyo. Usipain ko.
The Philippine National Police welcomes the filing of charges against policemen in the killing of 14 farmers during operations in Negros Oriental. Rappler CEO Ressa pleads not guilty to 4 tax-related cases against the online news site. And major sports venues are set to undergo renovation for the upcoming Southeast Asian Games.
Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And that's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, I am William Theo. Good day.